Happy Friday!
Happy Friday.
I'm really happy that it's Friday. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. And we got a whole bunch of stuff going on for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about tech stress and how to handle it and how I handle it, sometimes well, sometimes not so well. We're going to talk a little bit about some charity scams and, of course, our regular cat picking or dancing on the way out for a happy, long weekend. Well-deserved, too, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it's
You've
been
been
a crazy
working
week.
on a lot of stuff.
Yes,
one thing.
One thing, yeah. So, yeah, I think I really brought this up because, honestly, I really only worked on one thing, so I don't have a lot of content today. But I did want to talk about stress because I had one of those rare, every 5 years, head crackers. And most of the time I win, but this time I sort of won in the end, but not in the way that I wanted to. So, but oh well. We're kind of uniquely qualified to talk about tech stress because, people call us every day with their tech problems. People don't just call us to say, hi, how you doing? Not at the office anyway. They might call me at home or, personally for that. But, they're calling us because they've got some sort of headache going on. And, it's unavoidable. I mean, it doesn't matter what you have, whether it's, a cell phone or a computer or a camera or anything, electronic or, it can even be your car, whatever. Tech problems they're just inevitable. They're going to happen. It doesn't matter what we do. So we just got to go with it and have some zen and expect that once in a while we're going to have something that's going to cause a problem. And, these kinds of problems come in a lot of different forms. It could be, something is broken. It could be that you have a piece of equipment that has bad instructions or software that has bad instructions or in some cases, no instructions. Have you ever got that, Jennifer, where you bought something electronic, particularly on Amazon, and it didn't come with any manual in it?
Tech isn't as bad as I've gotten a piece of furniture that you had to put together that's in a million pieces.
Oh, yeah. That can happen too. But I mean, I've received, like yesterday, I got one of those tablets that you can write on so that you can capture handwriting in your computer and that sort of deal. Mm-hmm. And it had like a one-page instruction. Download the driver, plug it in. Here are the buttons. Thanks for nothing. So, yeah, you can have things that have bad instructions, no instructions. I'm not sure what is worse. Or perhaps someone did something and you don't know what they did, or they're not available or what have you. Or sometimes you can be like me and you did something and forget what you did. That happens on occasion too, doesn't it, Jen? Uh-huh. Yep, I think we all do that once in a while. The other type of problem that you might have is you might be trying to use something for something other than its intended purpose. And, we get all kinds of people trying to do all kinds of crazy things with their computers in some software or some items are just not intended to do certain things. And there's also the rare and inexplicable problems where, it happens once in a bazillion years and you happen to be the lucky contestant that has the problem. So, all kinds of different problems. If you've got your own style of problem, make sure that you put a comment down below and let us know what kind of crazy problems that or classes of problems that you've run across that you can add to our list, because I'm sure I don't know all of them. But like I said, we get a lot of people that call in like every day with a tech problem. And, back when I was first in the computing business, I was a lot less compassionate, and you'll see a lot of people that are in our industry that, they don't really realize that tech really isn't a lot of people's lives. It's a tool that they use. And you might have seen a problem 100 times, but, they're only going to see it once and they want it solved once. So, I had to put myself in check, years ago, because I've been doing this for like a really long time, you got to really be compassionate and understanding when you're trying to help somebody with their problems, because they're stressed out as it is. They got a problem and it's, things aren't going right in their life for some crazy reason. And they've come to me for a solution. I need to kind of slow down, take a deep breath. Even if it's a simple question, for me, it might be the most difficult question that they have to ask that day. So anyways, that's enough off of that high horse. But yeah, I had this rare every 5-year thing. I've worked on a problem this week for 4 days. And I'll tell you, it was a head cracker. And man, I just kind of didn't know what I was at the end of my rope, because I'd gone through all the steps that I know what to do, and kept trying them over and over again. And what the definition of crazy is trying the same things over and over again, except expecting a different result. Well, I think I kind of fit that bill of crazy this week, didn't I, Jennifer?
Yep.
And but I held myself together pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't lose it like too bad. At least definitely not in front of the client. But we kind of commiserated together that, man, you just really gave me a really hard one. It was one of those things where it was like a remote support thing. And it was clearly after, 3 days, I realized that it was not something that I was going to be able to fix remotely. So I ran up to North Platte to help the client. She's a remote worker. She worked in a different town for a company, and she decided that she was going to move to North Platte to be near her family, and but wanted to keep her job. And so we had her all set up with a new computer, and the computer itself was the problem, because after I'd gone through all my steps, I finally went to a peer and said, "Hey, listen, do you mind being a second pair of eyes and looking at my work and making sure that I've covered all the bases?" And I indeed had. And, he's a cloud provider and had seen, a lot more machines than I would in my small practice, and said, yeah, there are a handful of machines that have this specific problem. So I brought up a different computer and bam, it worked like within 5 minutes. So yeah, I kind of wish I'd only worked on it for 1 day and decided when to quit, but it is what it is, right? So you sort of need to know when to quit, when it's time to say, hey, I need to find a completely different solution, and not make yourself crazy over a problem that might be inexplicably unsolvable. And then, you got to realize, that, at the end of the day, you just need to solve the problem for the client. And we did. And she's able to work now happily, able to print from one town to another, which is kind of cool, isn't it, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I sent the test page from, what is it between North Platte and Colby? 110, 120 miles, you think?
It's a few hours.
Yeah, a few hours, a little bit of a trip. And when that test page works, you have a little bit of a party, right?
Yep.
So, anyways, yeah, everything all worked out just fine at the end of the day. But folks that call us for problems, they just simply don't know what they don't know, and sometimes problems are really hard to explain too, aren't they, Jen?
Yes. I have a hard time explaining things.
Yeah, but our clients have a hard time. They don't really know what kind of words sometimes to use to explain something clearly. Now, that's kind of why we have remote support for our residential protection plan people, because we would probably be in the loony bin, wouldn't we, Jen?
I would be.
If we were trying to solve problems over the phone without being able to remote and actually see what the client is trying to express to you versus, not knowing what words
Yeah.
to use. So yeah, some problems are difficult to explain. You just have to kind of take your time and go through it. And yeah. But if you're a commercial customer, I think that in some situations you need to ask yourself, should I be the one who solves the problem? If you're a business owner and you value your time, should you be the one that is actually doing a computer repair or spending all the time doing all the research to try to solve a problem? Or should you be hiring a hired gun? Somebody that has, in most cases, seeing the problem that you've had, can solve it efficiently so that you're able to get back to doing what you do best. So that's one question that you might want to ask yourself. But sometimes if you're like me, you like a good challenge and you want to solve the problem. And when I have a difficult problem, I like to reframe it a little bit and turn it into, as opposed to it being something that is like a stumbling block, as a learning opportunity, because automatically when you solve a problem, then you become an instant expert, right, Jen?
Yeah.
So you can reframe a problem and, address it in a little bit of a different light if you look at it as an opportunity to learn. But before tackling a problem, you also should really be thinking about, and how much effort that you put into it. How important is this for me to solve this problem? And I've been caught up in this before where, I've spent hours because a problem made me mad and the emotions got the better of me and I had to see it through. And it's kind of important to remember to give an issue like the right place and the right priority. Is it something that is life altering? Is it something that's, is it going to cause me, how much discomfort is it going to cause me? If this problem is not solved, is it purely aesthetic, something, that is pretty, or is it functional? And Jennifer, you've heard me say this before. So okay, like particularly when we take on a new client and, we just need to make things work when we're starting off with them. It's like, okay, now let's make everything functional and then we'll make it pretty, Yeah. But the pretty stuff really doesn't, it makes you feel better, but it doesn't necessarily contribute to, your overall well-being. So, yeah. And if you're a DIYer and you want to solve a problem, there's always Google and Bing. And now Copilot. If you're using Edge, you have Copilot in Edge that you can put natural language questions in and sometimes get a good answer. Of course, use your spirit of discernment. Does this seem right? Trust but verify, so to speak. And if you're not getting the answers that you like, try rewording your question. And using a different word or different phrasing or different word order can sometimes make a difference when you're searching for just about anything, whether it be something tech or, maybe you're trying to do some kind of sauce or something you're trying to make. And, it's maybe something that's a little bit off the wall or off the beaten path. And you're not sure what to name it or, how do I do this? Rewording your question is also a good option for you to have. But at the end of the day, don't be afraid to ask for help, aka a second pair of eyes. Even if it's just to prove that you're not crazy, that you're covering all your bases type deal. But do, at the end of the day, accept that there are some problems that just can't be solved, and you need to maybe look at a completely different solution to the problem. It might not be the answer that you want to get, and sometimes it's like, hey, listen, that machine just is not capable of doing ABC. You need to get a new machine, particularly if you've let something get a little bit on the old side. But sometimes there might be, like a completely different solution that you need to go with, and you need to quit and go do that instead. So yeah, that's kind of like what my takeaway for this week on the tech stress thing. Do make sure that if you are going through multi-step stuff, or you're trying several things, that you take deep breaths. Calm yourself, center yourself a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of Zen, and, be patient with yourself. Take breaks, get up, walk around, whatever, step away from it. And what did I do this week, Jen? I actually at one point said, hey, listen, I need to step away from this, and, I'll come up with the answer in the morning.
Yep. You stopped working on it.
And sometimes your mind, will work on these things overnight, and you'll wake up. Often I wake up in the morning with answers, to tricky problems. So, yeah. So I guess it's time for our little 15 seconds of fame here. We didn't get our RPP ad done, but we're going to do our little 15 seconds of fame here.
The Residential Protection Plan by HonorBound IT is the best support and service for home computer users. You get top-notch antivirus, backup, and remote support. Plus, if you need in-store service, it's free. Visit us at 109 Norris Avenue, McCook, or call 877-686-6642. Your digital peace of mind starts here.
Welcome back. And going from our RPP ad, we're going to go right into our cyber tip of the week, which is going to be all about charity scams.
Donating money to charity is a good thing, but scammers are trying to take advantage of good people. Charity scams trick people into giving money or personal information by pretending to be from real charities. Scammers use fake websites, emails, or phone calls to ask for donations, often creating a fake sense of urgency. They take advantage of people's kindness, diverting money away from real charities. Here are 5 things to look for before you donate. 1. Check if a charity is real before donating. 2. Use trustworthy websites like Charity Navigator to verify information. 3. Be careful with emails or phone calls asking for donations, especially if they rush you. 4. Donate directly on a charity's official website or use their verified contact information. And 5. Don't share personal info unless you're sure it's legit. Stay informed, double-check details, and use safe donation methods to make sure your kindness helps real causes and doesn't fall into the hands of scammers. Don't let scammers take advantage of your generosity.
Welcome back. And Jennifer, how about that cat pic? Because we all know the internet was made for cat pics, right?
Yep.
Yep, that's right. We got 2 of them there. We got, that's Kaida there on the back of the chair. She's our little kitten. She is, sometimes we call her Al-Qaeda because she terrorizes the rest of the cats, but that's her. And I think that's my fat boy in the chair, isn't it? I can't see from here, Jen.
It looks like him.
Yeah, that's probably Jamie. He's got racing stripes, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. But yeah, he's our fatty fat. And him and Kaida, they wrestle quite a bit. But yeah, that's our cat pick of the week. All right. Well, Jen,
You do have their other pictures too.
Oh yeah. I have one other picture there. This was my stress reliever for yesterday. Yesterday we had when I went up to North Platte, there are these birds, these peacocks in the middle of the road. There were 4 of them, but I was in my car and I really didn't want to not pay attention to my driving because there was a cop behind me. But I took a picture of the peacocks here, and yeah, they were kind of my little stress reliever on my trip to North Platte. Yeah. All right. Well, Jen, do you think it's time for us to go
I think so.
and have a weekend, right?
Yep.
Time for a weekend. I'm ready for a weekend. You ready for a weekend?
Uh-huh.
Yep. Oh, there we go. You hit the wrong button. That's all right. Hey, listen, the split screen ain't working this week. It's just not working
Alright.
this week.
I can see you slightly in the
Yeah,
corner.
well, I put new firmware on the little video switcher that we got.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they get to see you for once. How about that? So, we hope that you have a wonderful weekend. We really appreciate that you joined us this week, and hope that even just a little bit might help you along the way. And we will see you next week on Thursday. Take care.